Stay tuned for Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host, JC, and I get to take the mystery out of my own Generation 2 Bipod kits. We're going to talk about what the upgrades are over the Generation 1. Do me a favor, if you hadn't already, hit that little subscribe button down there. I appreciate it. It helps support the channel. Wow, these have been a long time coming. Seriously, I've been working on these for ages. This took me over a year just to get these designed and manufactured and sent out. Yeah, let me tell you, it's a nightmare and a half dealing with different manufacturers. You go through designs, you go through different ideas, you'd have things set up, and then all of a sudden they would disappear on me, and I wouldn't hear from them again. But anyway, finally we got these together, which is really great. What we're going to talk about is the improvement that we made from Generation 1 to Generation 2. Also, if you're curious about how to mount these, or why they work so well, I'm going to leave a link down below for my previous video. I'm not going to rehash that and go over that previous, but the previous video will show you how to install the bipod rails and why these bipods work so well. All right, so what comes in the box here? See my Airgun Detectives box? It's pretty cool here. Got my little logo on the end. Okay, what comes in the box is you have your two 5-slot Picatinny rails. You have your installation screws, and we have the new bipods. Let's just take these out and show you what you get here. Okay. So these are our Generation 2 bipods. Let's talk about what has changed on them. Number one is these rubber feet. These are more of a rubber-based compound now. Before, in the previous ones, of course I have a previous one to show you, these were a plastic base, and these had a tendency every once in a while to crack. And they're also slippery on smooth surfaces, where the rubber ones are much more stable. They grip much, much better. So anyway, so we went from plastic to more of a rubber base, which makes a huge difference. Okay, number two, what we went after was, if you'll notice the different length in the tension bolts here. So you have two tension bolts. Let's see if you can give you a good angle here. So we shortened the tension bolts. What happened is we got a lot of feedback, and a couple of people complained about when they would put these bipods on and have them folded up, and they'd put them on a sling on the rifle, the longer screw kind of dug into their shoulder. So what we did is we changed that tension bolt. I actually shortened it and smoothed the corners on it, so it's much, much smoother. It's a much, much more comfortable. You can see the difference in the lengths here. Also, what I changed on this was I improved the locking mechanism. This mechanism right here that locks this into place. We actually flattened out this knob and increased this spring tension. So there's a little bit more tension on this than there was before, so it makes a much more secure locking. I mean, listen to that. Locks in really solid. So those are the major improvements, and believe me, those are a huge improvement over the previous ones. Also want to talk about, you guys probably see some of these different bipods out there and say, oh, well, I'll just make my own set. Let me talk to you. This bipod does not work properly. It does not. The angle is completely wrong, and let me demonstrate that for you. So if we put this on a rail, compared to our Generation 2, let's put these on a rail. Look at the difference. See the angle? This angle is way, way too wide, and what that does, it puts an unnecessary amount of pressure on your mounting on your rails on the side of your gun. It can actually, you drop that down one too many times, too hard, and it actually can tear your rails off the side of your gun. So this is not good, and it's a wide stance. Look how wide the stance is. You have two of these going really wide. That's not good, because you'd have to have a very wide surface area to use it, and you're not putting the pressure in the right points. So this is no good. Besides, the other thing I don't like about this other aftermarket one It has two positions, this, which would be your up position, and then you have your down position. That's it. And then you got to worry about which side of the gun that you're going to put them on, if you want these to aim front or you want them to aim behind. These, they just don't work right. Trust me, I've been through a lot of these over the years trying to figure out what would be the best setup. And if you think about this on your gun, if you decide you want this forward, you can have it forward. If you want it backwards, put it backwards. It's entirely up to you. It gives you that versatility. So these are set up just right. It's funny, I still get messages from old timers saying bipods don't work on springers. And my quick response is, yeah, that's because you haven't tried my kit. Let me tell you something for you. It took me quite a long time to perfect the rails, the location, and the proper bipods to use. And again, you can reference my other video and it'll tell you exactly why they do work. But it basically gives you a really stable shooting platform, more so than a bag rest. Yeah, these work on 99% of your air rifles. These will work, and these will improve your accuracy. Not to mention, think about this. It's also a great way to rest your rifle. Even if you're hunting, how many times you go out there and you're trying to set your rifle down and you don't want the scope to hit, you don't want it to scratch up the side of your gun, even when you're simply target shooting when you set your gun. This is so easy to make a nice beautiful stand, not to mention it's a great display item. I have these sitting on my workbench like that. And then when you're ready to go, you just flip these up and you can go hunting, do whatever you want to do. Or you can detach them because they detach very easy. But yeah, that's kind of a bonus of these. But it does make a huge difference. And what proof do I have of that? Well, I've got hundreds and hundreds of feedback, not to mention an endless number of 5-star reviews on this. So if you're interested in these, just go to my website, www.airgundetectives.com. I'll also leave a link in there that goes directly to the bipods, the Generation 2 bipods. And again, I'll leave a link below to reference on how to install these, because watch that video. Again, I'm going to say you should have a professional install them unless you're extremely confident, but watch that video. It pretty much simplifies things for you. Also on the website, we've got the new t-shirts, so check those out. Got these in multiple different colors, and actually I have quite a few different styles now. Don't forget to check out the air guns I put on there too. I'm trying to liquidate my inventory. Can only store so many, so I constantly put something different on there all the time, so just keep your heads up on that. Well, with that, I appreciate you tuning in to this episode of Airgun Detectives. Again, I'm going to tell you one more time, if you're interested in installing these, I'll leave the link below to my previous video. Other than that, until next time, this is where we take the mystery out of the airgun. Stay safe, hope your families are all doing well, and happy shooting. Take care.